A bit of a mash-up there. That's the Beatles, of course, and the Kinks. I like to infuriate the listeners early. The number to ring if you want to contact this programme. Good morning to everyone. The number to ring is 08459 555 678. The email address is gerry.anderson at bbc.co.uk. And the reason why I stammer and stutter there is because I'm surprised to find out that they are working. So if you want to send me an email, remember, I'm the only one what sees them. I am the only one who sees the emails. And text messages are seen by everyone, but emails are private. So if you want if you want to say something really horrible, send it on email, and I'm the only one who will see it. Also, the text messaging service, for those of you who have perhaps had, hoped that life would be better, is 81771. People are contacting me already, and gentleman says, I heard Daniel O'Donnell, of course, on Richard Bacon's 5 Live show on Wednesday, as opposed to Stephen Nolan's 5 Live show on Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and I was astounded at Daniel's assessment of the Irish economy towards the end of the interview. I wouldn't listen to him sing if my life depended on it, but he was right on the money and spoke with genuine compassion. You know, a lot of people don't realise that, like me, Daniel O'Donnell is not just a pretty face. Please say hello to Christy Moore on behalf of my partner, Louisa. Christy Moore will be joining us later on today. I want to make a request, says Michael, for my girlfriend, Delphine. She turns 27 years old today. Well, it's better than Assumpta. She turns 27. Of course, Assumpta's a nice name, as is Bridge. As is... proof that old age comes to us all, even if you're French and beautiful, which is what Delphine is. It'll be no time at all before she's queuing for her pension. Just ask Sean. Would you be able to wish her a bon anniversaire? Live from the wee province, 6 counties. We'll be celebrating her maturity with a little party this evening in Montmartre. I believe you're going to Paris this weekend. I am, actually. I'm going to do a very interesting thing. Well, I think it is interesting anyway. You know that Australian band In Excess? Michael Hutchins was lead singer there for a long time until his tragic demise. Well, they've been going for a while, and their new lead singer is from Castle Dawson, a fellow who's been in this programme often on a Friday, Kieran Gribben. So I'm doing a little documentary about him. So they're playing in Paris in the Bastille on Sunday night, and I'll be there. And his people I was down with his people the other day, lovely people. So they're going too. So it's going to be a nice weekend. Going over tomorrow. It's just one of those things. Somebody has to do it. You're in Paris this weekend. If so, you're very welcome to join us. Delphine is preparing deep-fried snails, battered frog's legs, and thick slices of fillet steak served bloody and raw. I don't think I'll bother. This will be washed down by buckets of Beaujolais Nouveau and pints of cognac. Oh, I think I will, after all. Skip the frog's legs. Give me the drink. Boy, do these French know how to eat and drink well. They'd put us to shame. If you've anything biased from Serge Gainsbourg, Edith Piaf, or Jacques Brel, Delphine would love to hear it. But maybe she'd like to hear Dan. I hope you'll enjoy your weekend in La Ville Lumière, as they call Paris. They say everything is good when enjoyed in excess. That's what Liberace said. Sorry, I can't remember what he said. So don't hold back. Have a great time at the Bataclan on Sunday, which is where In Excess are playing, near the Bastille. Are there any free tickets going? Let me know. Oh, cheapskate. We'd have bought some, but we're too tight. Bon voyage. Bon weekend. That's Michael Leonard from Paris, looking forward to a birthday celebration. This may not be French, but it's good.
Turn me on, turn me up. You know there's something that won't make us give up. You listen carefully because you really do care. You don't think about the song cause you know that I'm on air. Mama hand me love. Will it make you feel alright? I know that kid, I heard him play his songs on the radio. Listen, memorize all the words, and you'll sing it loud. I listen every night and day to shout it proud. Then realize and I fantasize I'm on the radio. Bass pounding, the room is nearly bouncing. Something is coming that will make your body want to start jumping. You'll feel it like nothing is wrong. And if you haven't heard it yet, well, just try to sing along. Crowds start to sing. Don't know what's happening. Audience is deafening. Brace yourself, breathe in and let it sink in. I know that kid, I heard him play his songs on the radio. Listen, memorize all the words, and you'll sing it loud. I listen every night. I fantasize. I'm on the radio. Look at me, I'm on the radio. Guess what? I'm on the radio. You know, baby, I'm on the radio. Oh my God, I'm on the radio. R-A-D-I-O, 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 I'm on the radio on Capital FM or Radio 1. We'll listen to my music and we'll have some fun. The pounds of the kick drum will make us hit the. We'll have a party and won't forget what was done. You say, I know that kid, I heard him play his songs on the radio. Listen, memorize all the words and you'll sing it loud. I listen every night and day, then shout it proud. Then I realize and I fantasize. I'm on the radio. Look at me, I'm on the radio. Guess what? I'm on the radio. You never believe it. I'm on the radio. Oh my God, I'm on the radio. R-A-D-I-O, 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 I'm on the radio.
That's the singer-songwriter from Derry, London. Gerry calls himself, trades under the name of Dan. I have a lot of time for him. He's very, very good. That's called On the Radio. Just checking out some of the things that arose yesterday. Hi all. Chris Christopherson, you were talking about Chris Christopherson yesterday and you said that Mr. Coyle said he was a boxer and you dismissed him, stifled him. Just for your information, Christopherson won a blue for boxing whilst he was at Oxford. I stand corrected. His college was Merton, I think. I was told this by a doctor who was putting me back together a few years ago. Apparently he was at Oxford at the same time. There we are, you see. I can admit I'm wrong. And could you please ask Gerry to reply to his emails? Just 1 or 2 words. Only takes 10 seconds just to be polite. I was a big fan, but he's doing his best to turn me off him. You see, it's very difficult actually. You may say it's only 2 seconds, and it is only 2 seconds, but we get an awful lot of emails, you know. So don't take it personally if I don't reply. It means that I just don't care. Good morning, my darling Gerry. That's a lady who writes to me on a regular basis, but there's nothing going on between us. We have some hens in common. That's Nuthouse Hen Rescue. There are only 8 more sleeps, she says, until Christmas. For the lucky girls, Saturday the 17th will be their Christmas and they won't even know it. The lucky girls are, of course, battery hens who have been saved by these people. So far, the numbers are just over 200. That's 200 hens saved. What we did was we asked people to ring up and offer to take a hen. What this lady does, she goes to the battery farms and the hens that are going to be slaughtered are saved. So they come out and they've never seen daylight, some of them, and they go in, and apparently, according to a gentleman yesterday who told me about them, they just, when you take them, you put them in a little hen house, whatever it is, and they just stand there for about 2 days, and they start looking out. Then after about a week, they kind of put a little claw out, and then suddenly they become like a real hen about 2 weeks later. Apparently it's a wonderful thing to see, and it's not too late if you want to sponsor a hen. I've never said that before. Final appeal for 2011, you can give a beautiful girl a chance to see daylight, stand on solid ground and stretch her wings for the first time in her life. Please contact this lady ASAP. Don't make me have to walk away, leaving more behind than necessary. In other words, this lady wants to take as many girls with her. And you can email babs@Nuthouse Hen Rescue. If you've got a little space behind your house, a little garden, a little hen house, anything at all, you know, if you want to keep a hen. I don't mean for Christmas. I mean if you want to keep a hen as a pet. And they have eggs and everything. babs@nutthousehenrescue.co.uk. There's another website, www.nutthousehenrescue.co.uk. And there's a phone number here. It's 0797. Do it. 0797 327 0133. Just for the pure pleasure of bringing a hen. And now, this might sound silly, but it's not. Bringing a hen out of basically hen Auschwitz, right? Bringing it out, a hen that's never seen daylight, never had a normal life, never stretched its wings, it never had room to stretch its wings, and put it in your garden. Just watch it. Watch it become real. I'm hoping you can call in for an hour or so on the 17th if you're free. You never told me where you want me to call in. If it means so much to get some photographs of you with the girls after they arrive after 11 a.m. But if you can't make it, we can arrange to meet up and I can take a photograph of you with the girls. Lots of love. If I don't see you, have a fantastic Christmas. There we are. 200 plus girls are going to have a fab one. So let me know where to go. That's on the 17th. I'm going to call down and get my photograph taken with the girls. I'm an awful man for the girls. Even if they're only boilers. Gerry, I'm trying to get a copy of Charlie Bright in the middle of nowhere. Do you know where I could get it? Well, no.
It's a one-time thing. It just happens a lot. Walk with me and we will see what we have got. My footsteps are ticking like water dripping from a tree, walking a hairline and stepping very carefully. My heart is broken. It's worn out at the knees, hearing muffled, seeing blind. Soon it will hit the deep freeze. And something is cracking. I don't know where. Ice on the sidewalk, brittle branches in the air. The sun is blinding, dizzy golden dancing green through the park in the afternoon, wondering where the hell I have been.
Isn't that good? That's Suzanne Vega, of course. That's from her new album, which is called Close Up, Volume 3, States of Being, and that's a track called Cracking. Some messages, tell the people there's black ice and Moneymore. Jesus, boys, there's black ice and Moneymore. Be careful. Hi, Gerry. Can I hear Caledonia by Donna Taggart? I've been neglecting Donna Taggart badly. She's a great, great singer. I'll rectify that now next week. Gentleman writes, says, my old fella and I rescued hens when I was a wee small fella. I have had years of abuse ever since for getting them, and I'm 43 now. What does that mean? Abuse from who? Because are the hens still there? 40-year-old hens? I don't know. Right, Gerry, any chance of a track from the North Top Trad Band at First Light? I think they mean traditional music. Your man John Kelly on RTE. John Kelly, let's give them a good spin. Track 3 from the new CD, Idea is a Cracker. Come on, you boy. Don't be saying, come on, you boy. That makes me nervous when people say that. Great to hear you have Christy Moore on today. How about playing Christy Moore's version of Fairy Tale of New York? It's a great alternative to the Pogues. Well, I'll ask him, see what he thinks. Dish is affected by wind, but also snow cloud cover. Not much you can do in poor weather conditions except power off at mains and back on after 5 minutes. What does that mean? I have no idea. Play Big Western Sky. Now, Gerry, my golden Labrador went missing on Wednesday as the door blew open. He answered to the name of Columbo. We live on the Armagh side of the Five Ways roundabout. Can you please mention this? Consider it mentioned. Now, I told a story yesterday about a bull. A gentleman wrote to me, and I also attached a poem. And I said I wasn't going to read it, but the reason I said that is because I couldn't get it out of the machine. So this is the poem. I like this. It's called The Bull from Donnybrewer. A pedigree bull breeder from a place called That's just outside Derry, Stoke London, Derry, Fauchenvale. I'll start that again. A pedigree bull breeder from a place called Fauchenvale is the subject, dearest reader, of this sorry, tragic tale. For though he was a student and a budding engineer, he was not very prudent, as you're about to hear. His second name was Chambers, and he was a pleasant chap, if he ever met a lady who politely doffed his cap. When he went to Katie Daly's in the town of Sweet Strabane, he travelled up with Derry, and they took the transit van. His first love, though, was farming. His life was very full. He bred a really charming and frisky two-tone bull, who never served a heifer and did the job by half. As speedy as a rocket, he always made a calf. The bull was very busy and ever in demand. He could make a heifer dizzy when he got the upper hand. The secret of his handiness was no exotic stuff. I'm told he got his handiness from snorting Charlie's snuff. But when young Chambers travelled to Jordanstown to learn, the pedigree got tired for his keep he had to earn, and Gerard and Grandad Charlie took him on the rounds. There were times he serviced 20. Each cost £90. Sounds like Russell Brand. There were heifers from Dungannon and heifers from Armagh, from Machabrack and Claudy, and some from Maharah. He served a few from Swatra, and a ween from near Drumzurn, and a heifer from the Largy, I think, got a turn. He even crossed the border. But young Chambers did not know. The pair of crafty buckos had him working in Dunlow. The bull was doing nicely, and he brought them lots of luck, till he did a job at Killywill, and there disaster struck. The farmer was O'Hara, McKinney, Coyle or Smith, but his slatted house was slippy, and the poor bull lost his grip. When the heifer started slipping with our friend upon his back, and the pedigree romancer hit his leg an awful crack. When the student started asking how the bull had lost its leg, he met a wall of silence, as not a word was said. So he ruefully concluded that his pedigree now lacked the brake horsepower he needed to reach a heifer's back. But he took the bull to Belfast to start a new career. He's working up in Stormount. At least, that's what I hear. He's advisor to the minister, who deals with farmers' needs. I think it was our Martin who did the kindly deed. Now, the lads in Donnybrewer are thoroughly disgusted, though the bull's a civil servant financially. They're busted. But I'm told by trusty people they're working on a scam to sell their snuff to patrons who drink and dance in Dan's. If you ever go to Belfast, to the corridors of power, you will hear our politicians punching in their hours. But the one who works the hardest and whose days are always full is the pedigree from Derry, our three-legged two-tone bull. I'm enjoying myself today. Oh, it's good for him, isn't it? It's good for him. He hasn't long left. I've been asked to play some William Shatner. Be very careful, or I'll play Bohemian Rhapsody again.
Like rides that only take the toll of water running down the wall. Your nose is pressed against the glass. You left the club without a pass to close the door. You can't get in. I don't know where the hell you've been. This behavior isn't great. Seems to me I'm always late. No matter what you have to say, it's always me that's gotta pay. You're only just a kiss away. You left me here, and yesterday's cold out here. So cold. When the night comes down, always get so lonely here in this old town. Gotta change your atmosphere. If I had wings, I'd fly my body out of here. Cause when you get the feeling, you need a little healing. And you just need protection, loving and affection.
I knock on the door, you gotta let me in. And if I tap on the window, even if it's 10, I wanna hip hop all night. You know how old Blue Boo with Paul Mac and Lulu shouting out the new school, bringing in the new grooves for students that were tardy. So if I ring your bell, it's 'cause we're having a party outside. It's getting party, so let me ring. I'm all in, make it an inside thing.
Somebody knocking at the door. Somebody ringing the bell. Someone knocking at the door. Somebody ringing the bell. But it's an inside thing. Open the door. Open the door. It's an inside thing. Yeah. Someone knocking at the door.
Inside thing.
Somebody ringing the bell. Someone knocking at the door now. Somebody ringing the bell. Ring, ding, 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 ringing the bell.
That's Paul McCartney and Lulu, of course. And Gerry, my wife, Angela, and I went to see Christy Moore at the waterfront. He was brilliant. Yeah, I'm sure he was. Could you please say hello and happy birthday to Angela, who's 50 today. That's from her husband, Kevin. And please play Emma Reed's song about her brother. Yes, very moving. I will, actually. I'm going to play that next week again. I played it a couple of times this week already. Don't ever leave, as you make me laugh, says Kathy. I heard that before. Chris Christopherson was a boxer. He fought for the Golden Gloves in America. I don't think he did. But anyway, I don't know. Hi, Gerry. You mentioned that you're going over to Paris this weekend to see INXS. Is it the concert at the Bataclan on Sunday? Yes, it is. I thought of something for you to do on the Sunday. In the morning, go for oysters and white wine or charcuterie and red wine at Les Barons Rouges in the 12th arrondissement on Place des Ligrés, just next to the market. It's a really nice wee wine bar afterwards. What about a dander around the Jardin des Tuileries? Perfect for a winter's day. And then you could go and see Monet's exhibition at l'Orangerie. Bring your willies. Derry, thank you for that. I think I'll just go to McDonald's now. They know me there.
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide? No escape from reality.
I warned you.
Open your eyes. Look up to the skies and see. I'm just a poor boy. I need no sympathy, 'cause I'm easy come, easy go, little high, little low. Any way the wind blows doesn't really matter to me. To me. Mama just killed a man, put a gun against his head, pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Mama, life had just begun, but now I've gone and thrown it all away. Mama, oh, didn't mean to make you cry. If I'm not back again this time tomorrow, carry on, as if nothing really matters.
It's okay, the news will be up soon. You've only another minute of this to take.
Too late. My time has come.
Although I'm starting to like it.
Sends shivers down my spine. Body's aching all the time. Goodbye, everybody. I've got to go. Gotta leave you all behind and face the truth. Mama, oh. I don't want to die. I sometimes wish I'd never been born at all. I see a little silhouette of a man. Scaramouche, Scaramouche, will you do the fandango? Thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening me. Galileo, Galileo, Galileo Figaro.
On 92 to 95 FM,
And 1341 medium wave.
this is BBC Radio Ulster.
BBC News at 11 o'clock, I'm Kerry Martin. David Cameron has vetoed a new EU treaty designed to resolve the Eurozone debt crisis because he said it wouldn't protect Britain's interests. The 17 states that use a single currency, along with at least 6 other countries, will now sign their own deal without Britain. It'll involve greater cooperation of national budgets and penalties for breaking the rules. Eurosceptic Conservative MPs have welcomed the outcome, but the former Labour Foreign Secretary, Lord Owen, called it a mess.
This is the first time a British government has failed to achieve British objectives, which is to remain fundamentally within the European Union structures and have to walk away from that. So we are in danger of literally being on our own.
Also at the Brussels summit, Croatia has signed a treaty which will make it the 28th member of the EU. Croatia will be given full membership in mid-2013, becoming the second former Yugoslav nation to join the bloc after Slovenia. A man's been stabbed in the face in Londonderry. It happened at a house in the Old Fort area of Strathfoyle at around 3:30 this morning. His injuries aren't believed to be life-threatening. A 29-year-old man's been arrested. In the Republic, the former chairman and chief executive of the Anglo-Irish Bank, Sean Fitzpatrick, has been arrested as part of an investigation into alleged financial irregularities at a financial institution. He's been detained at Bray Garda Station in County Wicklow. An elderly man was restrained during a burglary in Lisburn. He was held down by 3 men who stole money from his home in Nettlehill Road. Money was also stolen during a burglary at Dunmore Drive in Skeganeel in North Belfast. Police believe the 2 incidents may be linked. A fire has swept through a hospital in the Indian city of Calcutta, killing more than 70 people. Most of those who died are thought to have been patients trapped on upper floors. Sport now, here's Denise Watson.
Rory McIlroy has just taken the joint lead at the Dubai World Championship. He's currently 9 under par for the event alongside Paul Lawrie after 11 holes played. His European Order of Merit rival Luke Donald has finished on 4 under. Graham McDowell is 2 under for the tournament after carding a 1 under 71 today, but Darren Clarke and Michael Hoey are near the bottom of the leaderboard. Clarke's 4 over while Hoey is 3 over. They both carded a 72 today. Manchester United have confirmed that Nemanja Vidic has been ruled out for the rest of the season with a knee injury. Laurie Sanchez is on the IFA shortlist to be interviewed for the vacant Northern Ireland manager's position. Finally racing, and the 2008 Cheltenham Gold Cup winner Denman has been retired after suffering a setback in his preparation for the Lexus Chase.
Now with the weather details, here's Cecilia Daly.
A cold day with frequent wintry showers falling as sleet and snow, and temperatures struggling to get much above 4 degrees. Snow will lie on the hills and it will be very icy and slushy on some roads and pavements. The biting northwesterly wind will continue to slowly ease. Wintry showers will be more isolated tonight, but temperatures will plummet, leading to a widespread frost and lows of around -3 Celsius.
BBC News.
BBC Radio Ulster. Travel news.
Snow and ice are causing hazardous road conditions around Dundrod. It's particularly bad on the Hannestown Road and Quarterland Road, which should be avoided for the time being. Also, avoid the Upper Hightown Road between Glengormley and the Upper Crumlin Road, where there's been an accident near the Horseshoe Bend. And looking ahead to Monday, the Cumber Road in Saintfield will be closed in both directions from 7 a.m. until 5 p.m. due to construction work at Saintfield High School. This means children should be either dropped off at Saintfield Square or at the Belfast Road entrance. Anne Jordan reporting.
Travel news on BBC Radio Ulster.
the bridge. Take 'em to the bridge. Baby, now. Shake your money maker. Shake your money maker. Shake your money maker. Shake your money maker. Stay on the scene. Get on up like a sex machine. Get on up. Get up. Get on up. Get up. Get on up. Stay on the scene. Get on up like a sex machine. Get on up. Baby, now. The way I like it is the way it is. I got mine. He got his. Dig it. Come on. You got to have the feeling. Shoot your bone. Get it together. Right on round. Can we hear that shit one more time? One more time. Let's hit it and quit. Can we hit it and quit? Can we hit it and quit? Can we hit it and quit? Hit it. Get up. Get on up. Get up. Get on up. Stay on the scene. Get on up like a sex machine. Get on up. Get up. Get on up. Get up. Get on up. Stay on the scene. Get on up like a sex machine. Get on up. Get up. Get on up. Get up. Get on up. Stay on the scene. Get on up like a sex machine. Get on up. Shake your money maker. Shake your money maker. Shake your money maker. Shake your money maker. Get up. Get on up. Get up. Get on up. Stay on the scene. Get on up like a sex machine. Get on up. Get up. Get on up. Get up. Get on up. Baby, now.
I sleep in my clothes in case he arrives when I'm dreaming. He got nothing to hide, his life ain't got no hidden meaning. And I hold you tight and I'll wake you if I hear him calling. 'Cause I sleep in my clothes as soon as the snow starts falling. Is it gonna rain? Is it gonna snow? How we gonna know if he gets here? Is it gonna rain, hurricane? How we gonna know if he's alive? Is it gonna snow, gonna rain? Who we gonna blame for the sunshine? Will he get my mail through the hail? Does he even know that we're alive? I sleep in my clothes in case there's a fire when I'm dreaming. I got nothing to hide, my life ain't got no hidden meaning. And I hold you close and I'll wake you if smoke stops you breathing. 'Cause I sleep in my clothes in case there's a fire when we're dreaming. Is it gonna rain? Is it gonna snow? How we gonna know if he gets here? Is it gonna rain, hurricane? How we gonna know if he's alive? Is it gonna snow, gonna rain? Who we gonna blame for the sunshine? Will he get my mail through the hail? Does he even know that I'm alive? He can tell that I'm lying awake even though I am moving. And the beat of your heart in my ear keeps love alive. And to tell you the truth, all I'm thinking about is fire. Is it gonna rain? Is it gonna snow? How we gonna know if he gets here? Is it gonna rain, hurricane? How we gonna know if he's alive? Is it gonna snow, gonna rain? Who we gonna blame for the sunshine? Will he get my mail through the hail? Does he even know that I'm alive? He can tell that I'm lying awake even though I am moving. And the beat of your heart in my ear keeps love alive. And to tell you the truth, all I'm thinking about is fire. Is it gonna rain? Is it gonna snow? Is it gonna rain, hurricane? Is
Is it gonna snow? Is it gonna rain? Who we gonna blame for the sunshine? Will he get my mail through the hail? Does he even know that we're alive?
That's a young up-and-coming songwriter from the Northwest called Best Boy Grip. I don't think it's his real name, and that's a song called Fire. We have another up-and-coming young singer with us, Mr. Christy Moore. Good morning.
Good morning, Gerry.
How are you?
I'm very well, thanks.
You're
Very
doing
happy
well.
to be here.
Thank you. Thank you for coming up.
Sound as well.
As always, every time I mention that you're coming up, I'm inundated with requests and people queuing at the door to see you. Your popularity is just incredible. People want you to sing all kinds of things. I don't even show you them because I don't want to put you on the spot. Play Flickering Light, play Ordinary Man, play Nancy Spain. People just fly in. People love to hear you singing. They just want to hear you singing all kinds of stuff.
Isn't it great that people want to hear the songs?
It's going bad for you because I'm just seeing on your blog that on your website that you're doing 7 gigs in Vicar Street starting next week, and every single one of them is sold out.
I don't understand it myself.
I don't understand it.
I just
either.
accept it with gracefully and give thanks.
And on that same note, the next gig, as far as I know, that you're doing in the north is the Millennium Forum, but that's not in Derry, Londonderry, but that's not until the May the 12th.
That's right.
And
yeah.
just by accident, the tickets have gone on sale there this morning at 9:30. So anybody who wants to go to that concert, I advise them to be quick.
Thank you.
You see. Now, your new album, Folktale, what a great album this is. It's fantastic.
Well, we had a real good time making it.
It started off as something else, didn't it?
It started off as a project. I was going to record all my own songs and just put out my own writings together. And it collapsed. And we just decided to scrap it and just took a bunch of songs and recorded them. And there was no theme to it or no... And it just worked out grand.
It's some material that you've done before and some new material as well. But people can maybe not understand that. I cannot understand that a bit because I have been in bands that have been in projects that collapsed. An album can collapse.
Completely, yeah.
Well, how does it happen? Just for the benefit of the people who don't understand
Just
it. How does an album collapse?
Nothing was sounding right. and we brought in a few different people to play on different tracks, and it just didn't gel.
Yeah.
And you probably know yourself, if you're doing a gig or if you're recording, and if you're really enjoying it, it's usually going fairly well. And if you're not enjoying it, you're in a bit of trouble. And we weren't enjoying the project. We were down in Cork in Declan's studio, and we just decided, that's it. Let's stop now.
It's very difficult to come to that stage where you do say, I mean, you're just sitting there for a long time, and then after a while you go, I don't think this is working.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to say that, isn't it? And then everybody else, no, I don't think it's working either.
Yeah, well, see, myself and Declan are 2 old dogs, we're been around the block a few times, and we kind of knew. And we didn't have anybody else to tell us anything. Like, there was nobody talking bullshit in our ears, We just...
You just knew.
We knew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's a great album anyway.
Thank you.
And would you like to do a track from it, or which one would you prefer to do? Or maybe you don't want to do that at all. You can do whatever you like.
Well, I'll do a track from it, and we'll go where we go after that.
Okay. Which one do you think you might
I'd like to do a song that I wrote with John Spillane last year. We did a gig for Haiti, and this song just came out of the gig. Haiti was formed, the calabash was broken, the waters of the world flowed down the mountain. From the sacred cave came the mestizo, island people of the Arawak Taino. In Port-au-Prince, the city's fallen. From the rubble and dust, a voice is calling. Hear the fearful cry of a frightened nation, carried on the wind from the Caribbean Ocean. Oh, Haiti, when I heard your cry, I knew that you were broken. Oh, Haiti, you will rise again, one day you'll smile again. My Creole sister. And way back in the time, Skibbereen lay mourning. There came a messenger of love from the Choctaw Nation. Let us fill the ship of fame and navigate beneath the stars to the island people upon their trail of tears. Oh, Haiti, when I heard your cry, I knew that you were broken. Oh, Haiti, you will rise again, one day you'll smile again. My Creole sister.
Oh, it's a nice song, that. You said that was written by John Spillane.
Well, and myself,
yes.
we got together over a few days, and that's what came out of it. I actually went to a gig of John's, and I heard him singing a song. It was the week after the Haiti disaster, and I heard John sing one of his songs, Everyone Needs a Rock to Cling To. And I just got the idea that maybe myself and John could write a song, and that's the one that came from it.
I think he's in Belfast tonight, you know. I think he's in the Oh Yeah Centre.
Oh, great.
I think he is tonight. I might be wrong, but I think I read in the paper this morning that he's going to be there tonight. If anybody says I'm wrong, let me know. And I was just thinking about that. It's very difficult to write a song about a word called Haiti.
Yeah.
It's like, it reminds me of Jimmy Kennedy, who changed the name of Capri. But Italians hate that, you know, because we always think the island of Capri is called Capri. But it's not Capri.
It's Capri.
And because Jimmy Kennedy, he couldn't have a rhyme with Capri. It had to be Capri.
Yeah.
And I noticed that you're using Haiti because it has to be like that.
Well, interestingly, I gather that is the correct pronunciation.
Oh, there you go.
And it's purely accidental.
There you go.
Some people from the agencies from Goal said you actually pronounced it right.
So you're doing the right thing. You're doing the opposite of what Jimmy Kennedy did. Everybody says Haiti and that's wrong, but Haiti is right.
Yeah, and it's much more singable as well.
Now, another person wrote to me and said, why have you not written a song about the impending duties of the Republic of Ireland soccer team in Poland? Whereas Joxer goes to Krakow.
Well, we haven't been able to track Joxer down. And what people don't realise is Joxer Goes to Stuttgart was written 2 years after the event, you know.
I see.
So it was you can't just write another Joxer. It's a kind of a song that I was very lucky to put down on paper. And if something else comes, well and good. But I think Joxer, we leave him where he is.
Leave him alone. And another thing as well, I meant to ask you, have you written anything about the kind of what's going on in the South, the money thing? It seemed to be a bit grist for the mill for you, but have you written anything about that, or could you not be bothered?
Well, it's not that I couldn't be bothered, but it's, I don't know, there's so much, everything is full of it now. The media is full of it, radio, television. The whole country is frightened and weary of it.
People up here, I don't think, realise how bad it is. It's bad. It's bad down there, isn't it? It's bad.
Yeah,
it's not as bad here.
It's scary.
Yeah,
it's scary.
It's not as bad here.
Well, there's a lot of people now, of course, want to rejoin the empire down below.
So all the Queen had to do was just say a couple of words of Irish, and everybody went, "Woo!" Anyway, never mind that.
On that, my daughter said, "Sure, if it wasn't for her, we'd all be talking in Irish."
That's right. That's right. Do you want to do another one for us, Christy? I want you to sing as many as possible. I hope you don't mind.
No, that's what I love to do. Will I just pick one?
Whatever you like.
My little 150, she's rapid and she's nifty. She'll do 150 on a windy day. My little 150, hit the night throw and she'll shift me. She'll get me away from the Garda any day. Oh, well, I got her in the buy and sell back in 92. A travelling man in a caravan says, "This is the bike for you." He was looking for 100, I gave him 32. I took her for a spin out the Kinnegad Road, and by God, she feckin' flew. Oh, my little 150, she's rapid and she's nifty. She'll do 150 on a windy day. Hup. My little 150, hit the night throw and she'll shift me. She'll get me away from the squad car any day. Oh, well, I drove her into Newbridge, looking for a couple of parts. Alloy wheels and a sat-nav and a new push-button start. And heading out to Robertstown for the bingo and the beer. coming down the hill of Allen. She hit the ton in second gear. Riding across the Curragh, nice and slow. The police pulled in behind me. Sergeant Kelly, don't you know? I said, buck, just me look, and I hit and I throw hard. By the time the squad hit Brockett's Cross, I had her parked in Brady's yard. Oh, my little Honda 50, she's rapid and she's nifty. She'll do 150 on a windy day.
That's a great song, that. It's funny about when you think about the interpretation of songs. The first time I ever played that, people were ringing me and saying, "Oh, that's been out before." And I said, "Yes." And I said, well, "I wonder, has it?" So you're playing country songs, you know, and as if complaining.
Yeah.
And I said, "I wonder who did that." And then I found out that it was recorded by another guy called Seamus Moore, but he does it completely differently, and almost like a kind of a Wurzels thing, almost kind of, you know, hammer it on the head. And people are saying, you know, well, that's the same song, but that's not the same song. It's different. It's the way it's interpreted. You do it with a kind of an innocence, and the other one's kind of music hall. You know, isn't it difficult? You take a song like that, and you can do it one way, and it sounds completely different, and you do it another way, and people think it's a country song.
Yeah. It's. I think Seamus kind of sings it. I haven't heard his version, but I have heard his work. I think he's based in London, and it's very much a kind of a London vibe off it.
That's it, yeah. It's kind of a stage Irish thing, in a way.
Yeah, in a way.
So you exaggerate everything.
But the fellow that wrote that song, I got to know him through the song, and he's a wonderful young man. Lives down in the bogs of Kildare. Tom Chewy is his name.
Yeah.
And he's a singer and an artist and a chef and a lunatic, and he's great.
Well, where did you first hear that?
My brother Luca heard it on a filling station in Kildare on the Tannoy, and he said that'd be a great song for Christy. Went in and he bought a 4-track CD that was for sale in the petrol station, sent it to me, and I just fell in love with it straight away.
It's funny, isn't it?
I think it's a classic.
I think it's great. I love it.
It captures a time, and it captures certain kind of characters who wrote Honda 50s, and the imagery is just wonderful.
Of course, the Honda 50, it liberated people, didn't it?
Yeah.
People don't realise what it used to be like when you couldn't really go anywhere unless you had a bicycle. And then the Honda 50 would have been the nearest affordable thing that could go fast.
Incredible how it changed people's lives. You know, it liberated people in the 50s.
It's like the dance halls. People never met anybody else until they went to dance halls, and then you'd go 20 miles from where you lived and see men dancing and with shiny suits, and it changed your whole attitude.
Exactly, or going to the match. You could go to the match on the Honda 50.
It's a world that's almost kind of... No, that world is still there. It was in danger of disappearing. We were talking about the economic thing down south. There was a time when everybody was seemed to be doing really well. And the Republic was changing a lot because of the money. And a lot of guys, I imagine, were disappearing up their own fundament.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
You know, that's kind of different now, isn't it?
We lost the run of ourselves down there.
Do you think so?
Oh, yeah. Everything changed. A lot of greed came into our society. People would go in for a loan of £100 for a Honda 50, and they come out with £100,000, and that's literally what was happening. Mm-hmm. If you went into a bank, they were heaping money upon people because they were getting commission. The regulator wasn't watching. The politicians weren't watching. Bertie certainly wasn't watching. And here we are now in the mire.
That's right, yeah. And one of the saddest things, and this is only a personal thing, and maybe you will disagree, the more wealthy people got down south, the more they tended to be embarrassed by the north, and they kind of dismissed it from their thoughts, And, I always thought that was kind of a strange kind of byproduct of that kind of thing. They weren't interested anymore because, that's only people up there. Whereas they didn't realise that we were just the same as them, really, in many ways.
Yeah.
So it had a lot of negative things, really.
But I don't think that was just a recent thing, Gerry. I think right through the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, there was many people down south who didn't really want to know about
That's right, yeah. It was sad, that, wasn't it, really?
It was
in
terrible,
a way, yeah. But you can understand it. But it was sad. But the fact the money didn't help that.
No.
Because we had no money either. Anyway, I texted you a few days ago asking for Christy to sing the Voyage. Please get him to do it. No, you don't have to do it. I'm just saying these are some of the messages. Ask Christy, as we mentioned that, will you be writing a new song for Euro 2012? Or how Kildare footballers are good but not quite good enough.
Oh, dear. We've been waiting since 1928. We don't need anybody to rub it in.
Well, what is the situation now? I'm not a great Gaelic man. I'm not quite sure. What's the crack with Kildare now? You obviously have got a vested interest here.
Well, I was born and reared there.
Of course you were.
You know, and the grandsons of my contemporaries are now coming on the scene and playing, you know, and I go and play for the team. If they ever get on in the Leinster Championship, I'll go and do a little gig for them.
Okay.
So when Kildare are playing, you know, when they run out in Croke Park, something happens to all of us. You know, I don't know what it is, but I mean, I realised the last time Kildare did well, they were in the All-Ireland semi-final against Kerry, and I realised I could have a heart attack here now. I don't know what it brings out in us.
The blood rises.
Something happens.
Something ancient within us.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a loyalty to a tribe.
It's tribal.
It's
pure tribal.
John Spillane plays the Oh Yeah Music Centre tonight at 7:30.
I think I might hang around and go.
Eh?
You know.
Oh, I know that. Yeah, sorry, but you maybe was just telling me something about that. Christy and Declan Sinnott should get together with William Shatner for a space folk concept album. I don't think so, somehow. But look at all the things that have been happening to you recently. You've gone beyond kind of icon stage. You were on this Coldplay.
Yeah.
What was that?
It was lovely.
At Punchestown, was it?
At the O2, at the Oxygen. Your man, Chris Morris. Chris, the lead singer in Coldplay?
Martin?
Chris Martin.
Chris Martin, yeah.
He actually rang me and said, would I like to sing Ride On at Oxygen? And I grew up 3 miles away from Punchestown, and of course I would, Chris, I'd be delighted. Basically what happened is his drummer, Will, came to hear me when he was 13 at a concert in Southampton. His mother was a bit of a folkie, and she brought this young fella to my gig in Southampton, and he couldn't get over this old fella making such a racket with an acoustic guitar.
That's right.
And started following me. And that's how the link formed. And I went out at Oxygen and sang Ride On to 80,000 young ones and young fellas, and it was class.
Hey, right. What a reception I imagine you got there.
It was a bit real high.
Goes to show you the seeds that you sow and you don't know about it. You know, you might be a concert, might be a young lad down there, 12 or 13 years old. You don't know when you're going to encounter him again.
Yeah.
And it's great that he remembers you, isn't it?
Wonderful.
Isn't it great? Sometimes you get that here on the radio. You know, maybe you're doing some kind of thing and some person will come up and say to you, you know, that his mother used to listen to the programme, you know, and she's gone now and stuff like that. I get a real kick out of that.
Yeah.
You know, people associate you with something that's nice.
The continuum.
And maybe it's nice to think that maybe because of that concert he went to see, that he maybe got more interested in music.
Perhaps.
And maybe he's in the Coldplay today because of you.
Perhaps, who knows?
Yeah, and tell him you deserve 10% of everything he earns.
Steady on. Steady on.
Christy, go ahead. Do another wee one for us.
Well, the lady there who asked for Voyage, shall we give a blast of that?
But if you want to, I don't want to be forcing you.
I am a sailor and you're my first mate. Start again. I am a sailor and you're my first mate. We signed on together, we coupled our fate. Hauled up our anchor, determined not to fail. For the heart's treasure, together we set sail. With no maps to guide us, we steered our own course. We rode out the storms when the winds were gale force. We sat out the doldrums in patience and hope. Working together, we learned how to cope. Life is an ocean and love is a boat. In troubled waters, it keeps us afloat. When we started the voyage, there was just me and you. Now gathered round us, we have our own crew.
Lots and lots of requests for all kinds. Of course, a million requests for Ride On, but I don't expect you to do that. But that must be your biggest song, is it? Ride On. I mean, in popular, do you get many requests for that?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Nancy Spain, I suppose.
Yeah, but I mean, Ride On is a song you just do every night. It's one of there's a small number of songs that I've done every night for 20 years, and I don't mind because I love singing that song. It just relaxes me. I like the film that runs in my head when I sing it. There's lots of references in it that just make me feel good, and when people sing it quietly along with me, it's a nice thing.
What other ones do you do always?
Viva la Quinta Brigada, Listun Varna.
Yeah. Nancy Spain, no?
Not always.
Okay.
No, not Voyage always.
Yeah.
There's 3 or 4 that are constants. I mean, I suppose at the moment I would be singing the Honda 50 I would be singing Tyrone Boys, Easter Snow. Morecambe Bay is has been the
song.
It's the song that's really their ganger man. Who
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Here's another one. Please do not let him out of the studio without singing Weekend in Amsterdam.
Okay.
That's a hell of a song, that.
Good.
I love it.
I've been thinking about this, that if I was asked to sing it,
You're going to alter some of the words?
Well, I think it might make people ill at this time of the day to be hearing about certain items of furniture.
Well, I played it 3 or 4 times.
Have you?
Nobody's been sick yet. God. Not only if you want to do it. All the people want you to sing Fairy Tale to New York, all kinds of stuff. So you do whatever you like.
When we got our redundancy, myself and the boys went on the spree. A brand new passport in me hand as we took off for the Netherland. Myself and Dinny and the Dwyer and Scott at Schiphol, we were all half cut. We opened up the duty free of the red lemonade and the brandy, and jumped on board a tram. Oh, the weekend that we spent in Amsterdam. Our first stop was the coffee shop. In we went and we all sparked up hash from Pakistan, from Morocco, Nepal and the Lebanon. And all the boys were rolling joints. They forgot to drink their pints. The water pipe came bubbling around, but took one pull, hit the ground. Lads, ate it if you can. Oh, the weekend that we spent in Amsterdam. And then we went for a midnight walk. Our eyes were out in stocks, gay bars, bordellos, and models in the windows with no clothes. Denny, he danced all night with the South American transvestite. Everything was going grand till Denny tried to drop the hand. Pandemonium, oh, the weekend that we spent in Amsterdam. And we'll do the rest later.
I'll just read out the rest of the words, will I?
I'm afraid that farmer, the farmer who had Rihanna might be listening.
There are 2 more verses, which shall be nameless. Oh, that's a great song. I'll play that on Monday with the uncensored version. No, you're right. Probably it's probably not suitable to do it live.
Well, not this hour of the morning.
Did you write it?
No, I didn't.
Who wrote it then?
Again, I heard it. A neighbour of mine in Newbridge wrote it. A fella I grew up with, and Paul McCormick from Newbridge, County Kildare, wrote that. And again, I heard it, and I said to myself, God, I'll have to get a bit of that. That's a great song.
We don't talk about fanny ticklers here.
God, between us and all harm, Gerry.
The headphones just fell off. We were talking earlier. I was just reminded of something. I was reading something about you, and I was thinking about the way the south of Ireland is now, and all the changes. Is the music still the same? Are there still people coming up that were coming up when you were around? I was thinking about Jimmy Faulkner. Are there still Jimmy Faulkners coming around? People coming up of that quality?
Well, Jimmy was unique, Jimmy was a unique player. I was just listening to him the other day on an old recording, and he sparkled. He played so beautifully. But I believe now there are lots more people writing and playing now than when I was growing up in the 50s and 60s. I mean, in the 60s, as far as I know, there was only one other guitar in Newbridge.
You mean actual guitar?
Yeah.
Right.
It was a real rare thing for somebody to have a guitar. There was no such thing as songwriters in the 50s and 60s. Okay. We learned songs from the wireless, or we learned them from records. And I never really knew anything about songwriting until I was into my 20s. And I began to discover Woody Guthrie and Bob Dylan and Ewan MacColl. And that opened the door. And now there's so many songwriters everywhere, all over the 32 counties.
But do they have the heart?
Some of them do and some of them don't. I mean, some people write songs purely for airplay, purely to make money, and that's fine. Other people write songs for other reasons. So there's all kinds of different things in songwriting.
I was talking about that in this programme the other day. I get a lot of demos, as you probably, I'm sure you get a lot as well. And you can almost spot the ones who are writing songs to try and make a few quid, and the other ones you can spot the talent. And I always say that's the difference. And they say, well, what's the difference? I don't know what the difference is, but you can hear it. And I was thinking about Jimmy Faulkner. Do you remember Jimmy Faulkner was a wonderful guitar player.
Yeah.
And do you remember the night, a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, you appeared in the Olympia in a tribute.
Oh,
I was at that.
That was a wonderful night, wasn't it?
I have never had a night like that. I just happened to be in Dublin doing something else, and I was walking past the Olympia on Sunday afternoon, and I saw, look at this.
Yeah.
So I just went in. And I never saw everybody from Smiley Bulger to yourself to God knows.
Gary Moore that night.
Eamon McCann even.
Yeah, and Gary Moore was really going for it that night.
Poor Gary's gone now, yeah.
And everybody who played that night, they were going for it because it was Jimmy.
Yeah.
And I think only Jimmy Faulkner could have rounded up such a huge variety, from traditional music to contemporary songwriters to heavy rockers, blues bands. He played all kinds of music.
That's what I'm just wondering. Could you get that kind of spirit again, you know? I mean, all those people from all different types of music all getting together in a common cause. Everything's kind of compartmentalised now, really, isn't it? And everybody's talking about branding and products, you know, shifting units.
Yeah, but that'll go, you know. The real music still goes on. Real songs are still being written. There are passionate people out there writing and singing and playing. No matter, but all the other stuff is grand. Let it be. You know, we'll get on with our own stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear that. Good man, Kieran. I spoke to you in New York airport about that Christie's Amsterdam song. That's right. I was in America a couple of weeks ago, and I met a guy in the airport, and he was talking about this weekend in Amsterdam. I'd forgotten about that. Tell Christy the Voyage was played at my best friend's. It doesn't say wedding. Sorry, my best friend's wedding. His name is Robert Hamill, and as a matter of fact, when my son was married. The first song they play when they dance, the bride and groom dance, it was "So Do I."
Oh,
yes. Ask Christy to play "Butterfly." It's a lovely song.
Oh yeah.
Ask Christy what is the most beautiful song he has ever heard.
Oh dear.
Hey, right or sang. Do you know what I love? I love flickering light. Okay. I don't expect you to do that because it's so complicated, but I love that song. It's not like anything else.
Well, I think if you love it, I think I'd love to play it.
But there's all kinds of stuff in it. I mean, would you be happy enough to play that just for yourself?
As I was walking home one evening, I noticed text believing. I met a group of creatures with the strangest looking features. A poor old dog and a worm and a weed, a fine old pigeon, yes indeed. Daddy long legs jumped up sprightly and danced to the reel in the flickering light. Oh, round we go. Heels at the toe, a daddy long legs jumped up sprightly and danced to the reel in the flickering light. On his thin and wispy spindles, he was deft and he was nimble. His eyes were scientific, and his dancing was terrific. And the rats and the worms made a din, the nettles in the corner took it in. God, says I, tonight's the night, we'll dance to the reel in the flickering light. Oh, round we go, heel to the toe. God, says I, tonight's the night, we'll dance to the reel in the flickering light. Then the daddy long legs looked at me directly with a gaze that could dissect me, and he asked me in a whisper, hey, have you got any sisters? Good God Almighty, says I to him, what sort of a man do you think I am? I've only one and she's not your type. She wouldn't dance a reel in the flickering light. Oh, round we go, heel to the toe. I've only one and she's not your type. She wouldn't dance a reel in the flickering light. Says he, does she come from another planet? Has she got a bee in her bonnet? Does she do her daily duties? You never know, we might be suited. And the rats and the worms began to laugh. Some of them started shuffling off. We're gonna have some fun tonight, getting ready for the reel and the flickering light. Oh, round we go, heel to the toe. We're gonna have some fun tonight, getting ready for the reel and the flickering light. I could see that he had no scruples when I looked into his pupils. They were purple or magenta, like a statue Jordan lent. Says I'll get her right away. Good man, says he, don't delay. We're gonna have some fun tonight, getting ready for the reel and the flickering light. All round we go, heel to the toe. We're gonna have some fun tonight, getting ready for the reel and the flickering light. And then up stepped a red carnation, and they gave her an ovation. She was warm and enchanting as she slowly started dancing. I can't remember the rest of it. I'm after drawing a blank there, Gerry. Help me out.
No, I love that song. It's clever and it's very literate, but it's also very funny and very poetic. I mean, you don't get funny and poetic and clever and literate in any song. You get maybe one or two of them, but you don't get four. You don't get four. Some more messages coming in. Just one thing. Please would you tell Christy I said hello. Sambo, the taxi driver in Derry, says hello, Christy. Please say hello. There we go. Oh, millions of messages here.
Oh, nice.
Could you please ask, there we go, Viva la Quinta Brigada, please. That's one of the ones you mentioned you always do. And could you think any chance Christy would do? No, there's a song Go, Move, Shift. What's that? I don't think I've ever heard that. Is that a song you did?
Yeah, it's a Ewan McCall song. Go, I might know.
Oh, no, don't be doing it. No, I'm just mentioning it. Christy just made my morning, cheered me up no end. A wee bit of Liston Varna would be such a fantastic treat this morning. Does Christy have a bit of time? I don't know. Ask the good man himself for the parting glass. You see, everybody wants to hear everything. So I'm not going to ask you to do the next punch a train. People want to hear everything. But I'll just leave it to you. Do whatever you like.
Well, the song that was mentioned there that I think is a really beautiful song is Butterfly. I don't know if I've ever sung it in radio. From the Handsome Family. I had nothing to say on Christmas Day when she threw all her clothes in the snow. I'll tell you what, Gerry, it's so long since I sang that song, and I was overcome by the beauty of it so much that I can't remember the rest of it. It's after slipping out of my head.
It's quite all right.
I'm having a kind of a forgetful morning here. I'm sorry about it.
You're quite all right. It's actually it's nice actually because you know it looks as if it gives you the impression that you really care about these things. Well, no, it does.
It's very embarrassing.
No. You care about your music. You care about it, and I can see the passion in your face when you start those songs. And if you do forget a line or something like that, it kind of I just think it's kind of nice because you think other people would try and make up one, but you wouldn't even try and do that. No, don't worry about it.
Okay, thank you.
It's something you know.
Okay. Of all the stars that ever shone, not one does twinkle like your pale blue eyes. Like golden corn at harvest time, your hair. Sailing in my boat, the wind gently blows and fills my sail. And your sweet scented breath is everywhere. No matter where I wander, I'm still haunted by your name. The portrait of your beauty stays the same. Standing by the ocean, wondering where you've gone, if you'll return again. Oh, where is the ring I gave to Nancy Spain?
Still getting lots of requests here. I don't understand this. I hope it's nothing unusual. Why did you re-release Easter Snow? No, I don't even know what that is.
Well, basically what happened, I recorded it about 20 or 25 years ago, and I wasn't that happy about the recording of it, and never did it much at gigs, forgot about it. And in the last year, people started requesting it again.
Yeah.
And I played it with Declan, and we did a different arrangement, and Neil Martin came in with a string quartet and put strings on it, and we just liked it. And as I said, we were kind of making this album up as we went along. That's why I re-recorded Easter Snow.
Okay.
I dedicated to Seamus Ennis, the great piper.
Yeah.
He lived in his house was called Easter Snow.
Oh, is that right?
And I used to visit him there.
All right. Listen, I have to tell you a wee thing. The person who does the programme with me normally, Sean Coyle, you know Sean, he was very embarrassed. He said yesterday, he wanted to apologise to you. Apparently, you were in Derry one time, quite a while ago, yourself and Donald Lunny and Declan. You were doing a little session up in Derry. And he went into the studio and you're all tuning up, and he didn't speak to you because he thought he didn't want to interrupt you. And then he was going out, you said, "Hello, Sean." And he said he's thought about it ever since. He said you probably thought he was a wee shite.
Not at all. I thought he was a big shite.
Right, some more messages here. Lots and lots. Can you please tell Christy thanks for meeting Colm and Catherine in the waterfront? And we got a big canvas of the picture. Tell him we got the licence for St. Columns, it looks like. And there's the Millennium tickets this morning. That's, I mentioned earlier, the tickets for your 12th of May show in the Millennium Forum in Derry, Londonderry, went on sale this morning at 9:30. He will know what I mean. Gerry, I'm not a big fan of folk music, but listening to you and Christy is just brilliant. Isn't that nice?
That's nice, yeah.
Right, so your album is Folktale, highly recommended, and you're not doing any gig. Your next gig in the north is actually the 12th of May, isn't it?
Yeah.
According to your gig guide.
That's the next. I am going up to. I've been asked to launch a book in January.
Yeah.
It's for the 40th anniversary of Bloody Sunday.
Yes, okay.
And the families have asked me to launch the book, so I'm going up to do that. But
Okay.
the next gig is as you mentioned.
All right, the next formal gig.
Yeah.
All right then. Well, the album is called Folktale, and I highly recommend it. And Christy, I can't thank you enough because it's such a pleasure for you. I know you came all the way up from Dublin, and God bless you. And thank you very much indeed.
Well, you come over the Glenshine Pass. God bless you too.
Will you do one before you go?
Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed, Christy Moore. Thank you.
I'll do. Somebody mentioned Shane MacCown's classic there.
Fairy tale.
It was Christmas Eve, babe, in the drunk tank. An old man said, "Son, I won't see another one." And then he sang a song, the rare old Mountain Dew. I turned my eyes away and thought about you. Got on the lucky one, came in at 18 to 1. I've got a feeling this year's for me and you. So happy Christmas. Oh, I love you, baby. There's gonna be good times when all our dreams come true. They've got cars big as bars, they've got rivers of gold. Where the wind blows right through you, it's no place for the old. When I first took your hand on a cold Christmas Eve, I told you that Broadway was waiting for me. You were handsome and pretty, Queen of New York City. When the band finished playing, the crowd howled for more. Sinatra was singing, all the crowd they were swinging. We kissed on the corner and danced round the floor. And the boys from the NYPD choir were singing Galway Bay. And the bells were ringing out on Christmas Day. Well, I keep going. I could have been someone, and so could anyone. I took my dreams from you when I first met you. I kept them with me, babe. I put them with my own.
I can't make it all alone. I've built my dreams all around you. Well, you're a bum, you're a skunk, you're an old whore on junk, lying there under the rip, nearly dead in the bed. You scumbag, you maggot, you cheap, lousy faggot. Happy Christmas, me arse, oh, I'd rather be dead. And the boys from the NYPD choir were singing Galway Bay, and the bells were ringing out on Christmas Day. Oh, I love you, baby. I've got a feeling this year's for me and you. Oh, happy Christmas. How I love you, baby. There's gonna be good times when all our dreams, they come true. So, happy Christmas. I love you, baby, said Shane McGowan and Puckon in County Tipperary. And St. Stephen's Day, and we and Paddy Kennedy's snug and sweet Puckon. And Shane bought a drink, and I bought a drink, and then Shane bought a drink, and then we had a drink, and he sang a song. He sang the fairy tale in New York, and then he sang the summer in Siam, and the broad majestic Shannon, and Kitty, me darling, remember, and summer in Siam, and the rainy day in Soho, and I looked into his Tipperary eyes, and I kissed those Tipperary lips, and I said to him, I said, oh, I love you, baby. There's gonna be good times. Thanks, Gerry. When all our dreams come true. Happy Christmas, everybody.
My, it's a beautiful world. I like swimming in the sea. I like to go out beyond the wide breakers, where a man can still be free, or a woman if you are one. I like swimming in the sea. My, it's a beautiful world. I like drinking Irish tea, with a little bit of lapsang souchong. I like making my own tea. My, it's a beautiful world. I like driving in my car. I roll the top down, sometimes I travel quite far. Drive to the ocean, stare up at the stars. I like driving in my car. All around is anger, automatic guns. It's death in large numbers, no respect for women or our little ones. I tried talking to Jesus, but he just put me on hold. Said he'd been swamped by calls this week and he could not shake his cold. And still this emptiness persists. Perhaps this is as good as it gets. When you've given up the drink and those nasty cigarettes. Now leave the party early, at least with no regrets. I watch the sun as it comes up, I watch it as it sets. Yeah, this is as good as it gets. Oh my, it's a beautiful world. I like sleeping with Marie. She is one sexy girl, full of mystery. She says she doesn't love me, she likes my company. For now that's good enough for me. Oh my, it's a beautiful world. I like swimming in the sea. got to go out beyond the white breakers, where a man can still be free, or a woman if you are one. I like swimming in the sea.
Thanks to Christy Moore, and I've got a ball of work to do this morning, but I couldn't get out of my Jeep until Christy was finished. Thank you so much for The Voyage. What a beautiful song. Gerry, a challenge. Christy does a definitive version of Fairy Tale in New York. Well, Christy did a Weekend in Amsterdam, but he left out a couple of verses. I'm going to play it now with the offending verses.
Got our redundancy, myself and the boys went on the spree. A brand new passport in my hand as we took off for the Netherland. Myself, Denny, O'Dwyer and Scott at Schiphol. We were all half cut. We opened up the duty free, the red lemonade and the brandy, and jumped on board the tram. Oh, the weekend that we spent in Amsterdam. Our first stop was the coffee shop. In we went and we all sparked up. Hashish from Pakistan, Morocco, Nepal and Lebanon. All the boys was rolling joints. They forgot to drink their pints. The water pipe came bubbling around. We took one pull, hit the ground. Let's wake 'em if you can. Oh, the weekend that we spent in Amsterdam. Then we went to the Blarney Stone by the wind of the Leinster final on. The lily whites, the boys in blue, the Tattoos and Majors. Over to Mulligan's for the night. The bar was lippin', the band was shite. The Borg, the Bono and the Wolf Tones. Till Denny grabbed the microphone, gave us a Van de Man. Oh, the weekend that we spent in Amsterdam. Then Macker says, while we're here, we'll go and have a look at all the kinky gear. I sang the quiet prayer, I wouldn't bump into anyone from Kildare. Big dildos, blow-up dolls, snap-on tools, hairy balls, vibrators, whips and chains and zips, and fanny ticklers, got between us and all harm. Oh, the weekend that we spent in Amsterdam. Then we went for a midnight walk. Our eyes were out in stalks, gay bars, bordellos, models in the windows with no clothes. Denny, he danced all night with a South American transvestite. Everything was going grand till Denny tried to drop the hand. Pandemonium. Oh, the weekend that we spent in Amsterdam. The bouncer, she was 5'10", a lowland heavyweight champion. Hit Denny an awful box, the boys ran amok, wrecked the shop. We could hear the squad cars getting near. It's time, lads, we were out of here. Denny pulled up his tights and we disappeared into the night. All together now, one by one. Oh, the weekend that we spent in Amsterdam. Queen Beatrix, she rides her bike. Rembrandt is hanging down in the Reich. Ajax, Heineken, Van Gogh and the Gargle and the Genji. On Monday morning we were all half cracked. We dived into the Kaisergrat. They fished us out, hosed us down, and put us in the plane to Dublin. Home to the mummy again. Oh, the weekend that we spent in. Oh, the weekend that we spent in. Oh, the weekend we spent in Amsterdam.
That's Weekend in Amsterdam. That's the full Monty, Christy Moore, and that's of course Folktale. Lots and lots of messages. A lot of people calling in about want to hear the programme again, want to hear Christy again. It's on iPlayer, of course, the next 7 days. bbc.co.uk/iPlayer, and you can see a video of this show next week.